What's up, bitches? We're back.
Can't get rid of us that easy.
Left. Oh my god, you can try. You all can fucking try, and I dare you to try. God, we come back from the new year and we're just fucking threatening all of our audience.
Yes, rat bastard sons of bitches.
You all made... Steve Austin made me do this. No, we're back. We're in 2021 with... It's finally here. Chapter 1000. I gotta say, I'm actually surprised. I was not spoiled, like, at all. I made it.
Same.
I was so afraid that I was gonna get spoiled by something, and I didn't get spoiled by anything. And then, like, I went to check the tweets today. Like, as soon as I read it, I went on Twitter, and I checked hashtag OnePiece1000, and I clicked on it, and all of the top tweets were from the 27th of December. So I was wow. Yeah, a lot of them that I saw, and I was like, wow, like, thank God I didn't see these when they came out.
Because were they basically like, just, oh wow, this is exactly what happens?
It was literally like pictures of the panel, exactly what happened. I was like, oh my God.
Dog, I don't get spoiler people.
Yeah.
Like one thing is like indulging it in yourself. Another is like, hey, here's the fucking page.
Yeah. Hey, this thing that's not out officially, like, fuck you, it's here in shitty translated form. But hey, we are Paramecia Fancast, a One Piece fan cast where we review the latest chapter of One Piece and have a different One Piece related discussion every single week. My name is John.
My name is Franz.
And I wanted to quickly start chapter 1. There's a lot to talk about in this chapter, but before chapter 1000, I wanted to just talk about some of the stuff that happened, like, within Jump, and I guess on like the cover and stuff. Because the last issue of Jump, chapter 999's issue, the cover page was like half of Luffy's face, and then all of the Jump characters with different... Each author drew their character, and then their favorite, like, One Piece character, whichever one that was. So we got last week's, and then this week we got a whole bunch of other drawings. I have the whole picture here. Some of my favorites were obviously the Dr. Stone guy drew Ace, obviously, because he drew the Ace manga. The other, Horikoshi drew Don Krieg for, like, what a fucking...
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Don Krieg of all people?
Of all the people, like, my favorite's Don Krieg. I respect the Toriko guy because he has that Build King manga, and he drew Gaimon.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of him. There was some other good ones. Oh, there's a couple that'll tie into the author comments, which I guess I'll just get into now, because the author comments came out, and those were really hysterical. So, all of them were pretty much everybody thanking Oda and congratulating Oda on 1,000 chapters, except for two people. I just So the Black Clover guy, Yuki Tabata, is like, oh, congratulations, staying at the top for 1,000 chapters. That's amazing. And then the Shokugeki no Sanji, chapter 2 of that came out this week, which was amazing. And both of those guys like, oh, like, thank you so much, Oda Sensei. You know, the Promised Neverland guys, Horikoshi, Dr. Stone, Roboco, all these guys, all the authors, they're all these goons just drawn in this magazine, just like, oh, congrats. And then we have Jujutsu Kaisen, the author of Jujutsu Kaisen. And his favorite character on the cover was Arlong. He drew Arlong. And his author comment is, and I quote, "My favorite Arlong, alongside the one from the manga, is the Arlong from Grand Battle 2. End quote."
Like, what does that even fucking mean, dude?
No congratulations, no nothing, just... if there's one thing I like more than manga Arlong, it's Grand Battle 2 Arlong. This dude, he just loves himself some Arlong, man. I can't.
Parent fucking Lee.
Jesus Christ. It's hilarious. If you read through these, if you want to read through the author comments, they're on Twitter. You can probably find them. I think Shonen Jump posts them on their Twitter page. Or they have, like, on their website, they have a blog post where they put all of them each week. They're really cute today. Or this week. They're all like, "Oh, congrats, Oda! Like 1,000 chapters is amazing." And some of them are even like, "Oh my god! Like, I started reading One Piece like when I was getting into like when I was a child. Like, I never would have believed that I would share like magazine space with you. This is amazing." One last thing, or two last things, I guess. If you want to read some cute manga chapters this week, Me and Roboco is this week. It's like the new gag manga in Shonen Jump. This week specifically is like an ode to One Piece and like kind of Jump in general. And it has, I won't spoil the whole thing, but it has Oda making an appearance in manga form.
Yeah.
It's hysterical. There's a whole bunch of like redraws of like fan favorite One Piece panels, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
A good way to celebrate the chapter, honestly.
Yeah. And then if you like Sanji or Zoro or both, and you also like Food Wars Shokugeki no Soma, please read Shokugeki no Sanji Season 2 or Chapter 2, because holy shit, it's good.
It's so good. I'm literally like, I've been a little quiet right now. I'm gonna be honest, I'm literally on the last page of it reading for the first time because I forgot it was a thing.
Yeah. I don't look. There's nothing big to spoil. It has a lot of Sanji and Zoro. Like, look, if that's your ship, you're eating good this week. You're eating so fucking good. And all I'll say is Sanji gets entrusted with Wado Ichimonji. and that's all I'm gonna say.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
It was so good. I was just like, ooh, what a mood. Mood.
It's fucking good, but no more. Enough dilly daddling.
Silence, wench.
I do not wish to be horny.
I wish to be happy. Oh yes, the wench that is Shokugeki no Sanji is quiet now, and all I have to my mind is One Piece chapter 1000. If I sound a little weird this week, I apologize, because I think I'm coming down with something yet again. Depression's a bitch. It makes my immune system drop down a lot. Hopefully it's nothing. I'll let y'all know. But man, like, we're coming back. All the Straw Hats are there now. We finally get the completed both halves of the color page.
And it is, if you look at them side by side, it is like the best reimagining of Chapter 100's color spread. It's so cute, but now it has like everybody.
Everyone is here. It's so good.
The important part. So like, yeah, Luffy's here, munching on a meat, cool. Brook's in the back holding up the swords that make the Jolly Roger. Cool.
His hair's gold.
Yeah, his hair's gold, sick. Nami, swimming in gold, rich as hell. Jinbei has a sword?
Yeah. It looks fucking good.
And Jinbei, we joke on the show that he's a little green behind the ears when it comes to being in the Straw Hats. So I literally imagine him in this cover, like walking into Frey, just, I have a sword now.
It's like that one. God, it's not even a TikTok. It's a Vine. That's how old it is.
Oh God,
ancient in terms of internet entertainment, but. This one Vine that it's just like some kid and like the mom zooms in on him. He's like running around a a pool, and it's like, what do you have in your hand? A knife. No.
She screams.
That's what Jinbei is. He's like, I have a sword.
I found a sword.
Except no one's yelling no. Everyone's yelling yes.
Yeah. As soon as he said that, I can imagine. In this order exactly, Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper just saying yes, just cheering.
Oh my god, it's 10 out of 10. We love it. I got last week's issue. To be honest, I haven't located the poster. I have to double check that no one swiped the poster. It's there. Okay, tight. Because I would truly believe that, like, not a lot of crime happens in Japan, but that's something that I would imagine would happen.
We would need to get Secret Service involved. Like
Exactly. Japanese Secret Service, Suga, get on it. But, yeah, gotta get this week's volume to complete the set.
It's literally going to be that scene from Infinity War when Thanos puts the final gem in and he's like, "Ugh," the lightning surging through when you place both of the pieces together.
I'm gonna be so hyped. I'm gonna need to figure out how to frame it.
For some reason, I just thought of like you putting them together and then like taking a step back and looking at it. Piece 1? Oh, god damn it.
Oda, you fucked us again.
Yeah.
Man.
Guys, Oda made a fucking typo on his own manga. What a goon.
One piece, as in peace on earth. Oh, no.
Oh, god. I'm so glad Oda, like, said that the One Piece wouldn't be something like that.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Unless.
No.
No. We open up with the chapter. Straight out.
Tell me the name. Tell me the name.
Straw Hat Luffy.
Chapter 1000. Straw Hat Luffy. Oh my god. You already, just from that alone, you know it's gonna be like, uh-oh. I'm in for it.
Man, the way it opens up too, inside the castle, 5th floor, Luffy just goes, oh, we get Dogstorm's 3 musketeers kneeling in front of Luffy. This is about the only thing we can do to help. But go ahead. The stairs to the roof are just before you. And Luffy's like, thanks, Lion Viper. And he corrects, it's Shishilian. And what Luffy says hits. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I remember. And he's like, bitch, you clearly got my name wrong just now. I remember how you guys risked your lives to protect Raizo. Thanks, I'll be back. And Shishilian just breaks. He breaks, starts sobbing, crying.
Oh, Luffy is... Oh, there's a moment later where Luffy does something similar again, and I'm like, I love this little dumbass. I love him so much.
He's so... Like, I'm pretty sure he does not know basic arithmetic. I'm very certain of that.
He does not.
Like,
but he's just so good. He's just oozing with goodness.
Like, he's so emotionally smart. Math, he still has to be, like, described things in terms of meat. Like, if you have 5 pieces of meat and you take away and you give 2 pieces of meat to Usopp, how much pieces of meat do you have? His
5.
answer would be...
I would never give Usopp meat.
Yes, 5. Usopp would have to steal it from me. And I'd like to see him try.
And I'd like to see him try. Luffy reminds me of the... So there's a talk... there's like a... What am I looking for the words? There's like a talk back and forth that comes up all the time in fighting games. And it's about the scientific players versus the pure feelings players. And it's like the science players will like take everything into the lab. They'll lab out everything. They'll know the frame data. Like, oh, you press this button, like you're -2, bitch, it's my turn. And then there's the emotion players where if you... They're godlike. They're like they make so many crazy like good reads and they're really good. And then you ask them after the match, like, hey man, like, you know, why'd you do this in that situation? I don't know, I felt like it. I don't know. I thought he was gonna do that.
I'm just hitting buttons.
Yeah, I'm just hitting buttons. Luffy doesn't care about frame data. He says, I thought he was gonna jump, so I DP.
It's so good. Like, we love this dumbass boy.
Yeah.
Oh, so much.
I will transition real quick to the next page to talk about another dumbass in another way, because I just don't get it, but I love it. So we get... I mean, it's the first goddamn thing you see on the page, to be honest.
It really is.
You just see screaming, and then you see Queen in his dino form saying, damn, what's with his powers? Is he invincible? And then King is also like, yo, what the hell? Which, by the way, like, uh, they, one thing at a time. So first off, him saying, like, what's with his powers? Is he invincible? Like, do they both, they're like Yonko commanders? Do they just have dino brain? Like, how do they not, like, he has a mythical zone? Are they like...
like the Phoenix, like, at very least you'd consider that he can't die, really.
Like I'm not, trust me, I'm not saying this is like a negative of the chapter. I love this. I think it's hilarious, but it's just like they got dino brain, man. It's like, what the hell? I got too caught up in being a dino. I forgot to think.
My gunshots aren't working. I'm just gonna extend my neck.
Yeah. Let's go to the second thing. For some reason, I didn't know, you know, I'm not an archaeologist, and maybe fellow archaeologists in the in our Discord or on our listeners can comment and tell us. I didn't know that brachiosauruses had metallic necks that could extend.
Yeah, I didn't know they had telescopic necks. Like, what the fuck? For what? And like,
and it looks even funnier because Marco with the wings is holding both of their heads. Like, he's holding King and it looks normal. Like, King is like, ah, shit, like he's stuck. But then he's holding Queen's head, but his neck extends like all the way, and he, like, Queen is standing up like normally, and his head is like 15 feet away getting grabbed by Marco.
I feel like Oda just wanted to draw Marco like grabbing them by the neck, but wanted to make a little more sense, and so his thought process was just extendo neck.
Well, I put a double barrel shotgun in his throat before, so I think this will be fine.
And he's right. It is fine.
It works.
It works out.
Oh God, we get Marco holding off the two commanders, and then he says, "Easy now, easy. Stop freaking out and let the man go." And then he fucking like flings his feet up and chucks Zoro to the roof, and Zoro's like, "Don't toss me." And you see a little like, ah.
There's one thing here that I saw Artur point out, that the line in Japanese, fuck me, I'm not gonna look at the raws right now, to be honest. But I do remember that it said something like with a dawn, as a reference to Artur specifically thinks that it's a reference to Tom the pufferfish, because his whole thing was like telling Frankie to do shit with a dawn. Personally, I think the Tom's as like from a translation standpoint, Tom's line is very amateurishly translated, and it's probably like a fan sub, the screen cap that Artur grabbed.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, if it's something, I think it'd be pretty interesting. I do think that it's reasonable to say that Marco and Tom have met.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Why would it be reasonable?
Well, Tom
worked on Gold
ship.
Roger's ship.
Yeah. I mean, it's they could have met Whitebeard.
They could have.
I don't think we have confirmation on who built the Moby Dick, but
that's true. Either way,
I assume somebody in Water 7 built the Moby Dick. It's
a safe assumption. I personally don't subscribe to this, but I thought it was interesting nonetheless.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I like that. We quickly cut over immediately to Momonosuke and Yamato, and they're both right where we left them off. They're talking about the will of D. And poor Momonosuke is all bruised up, and he's like, D?
But like it's spelled out like D-E-E. Yeah. It makes me want to like Photoshop it to say D's nuts.
D's nuts? And this is in Father's journal? Oh God. I love this chapter. Oda went all out on the artwork for specific characters' faces.
Dude, Yamato's brimming.
Yamato's face in this panel, like, I love it.
What a good boy.
Yeah.
That's it. What a good boy. But he explains to Momonosuke, I never truly believed that I would get the chance to meet you. This is for you, of course. I picked it up out of the river at the foot of Odin Castle on that terrible day. Someone must have kept this journal safe from the burning building. It contains everything there is to know about Odin's grand life and the world he experienced. Dude, fuck.
Oh. And this is like, we've been thinking about it and sort of waiting for this entire arc. Like what's gonna be the moment that Momonosuke really starts to come into his own? And yeah, I would say him on the cross earlier, where he was like, "My name is Momonosuke Kozuki, and I am the son of Lord Odin." I thought that was like a really good moment for him. But I love this sort of him getting to speak to his father one more time in a strange way, through reading his journal, getting to understand his father's mindset through reading his journal. Because Odin talked about everything. He talked about everything he did at sea and everything from what happened right up until he died.
Yeah.
So I feel like this, if Momonosuke gets to read this is going to be some big news.
I'm so glad that we're really getting a kinship between Momonosuke and Yamato.
Yeah.
Because, the first introduction, Momonosuke was like, who's this fucking freak? But, learning that Yamato really, not necessarily, cares for him, but really does want to protect him.
Yeah.
And just this being a start to that, I love it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's so good. I can't wait for this. I digress. He continues, and he says, "You were born on Whitebeard's ship, weren't you? And then you went on Roger's ship. They said that in the future, over 20 years later, the new world here would be overrun by young, powerful new pirates. And that's what's happening right now. I believe that Ace was the first and foremost among them, but then he died. But when he died, I remembered something." And we go to the flashback, and he goes, he's screaming, and he says, "Shoot!" Ace is speaking. He says, "Shoot! That was a slip of the tongue. I was not supposed to say that. You did not hear that. Forget about it. Don't laugh at that. Only me and Sabo are allowed to laugh at that. And that's at the end of my little brother's dream." And Yamato's just like, "What? What's going on?" And then it zooms out, and they're both, it's still when they're drinking the sake, and he's like, "Sure, when Luffy first said it, we laughed, but that's okay. Nobody else can laugh. We believe in him." So he's talking about what they talked about, I think at Gray Terminal when they took the sake cup oath, and then he said his dream, but they cut away from it, and we'll talk about it at the end of the chapter, because it has something to do with what's at the end of the chapter in a way. So we'll get there, but he says, "I really think he can make it happen, and that's why." And Yamato shoots up, "Ace!" And he's like, "Huh? Hey, what's the deal, Yamato?" And Yamato is crying, and he says, "I'm not gonna laugh at him. Those are the words the king of the pirates spoke. The words that stunned Odin." So whatever Luffy said was the same thing that in the flashback, if in the Gold Roger flashback, or the Odin flashback, when he meets with Gold Roger, Odin, Whitebeard, and Roger are sitting down talking about how they're planning out the final journey, because he's like, "No, I took these rubbings from Big Mom," and I think Whitebeard is like, "What are you gonna do with all this? What's your end game or whatever?" And then it cuts away. Those little thin panels, just like it did here, cuts away. We don't get to hear what he said, and then it's the same as with Ace and Sabo looking at Luffy like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Whitebeard and Odin give him the same look. They're like, "What? What are you? You're such an idiot. What are you talking about?" So whatever Gold Roger said was the same exact thing that Luffy has been saying to his brothers. So I don't know what that means yet, but I'm eager to learn.
I think I've got an idea, and John and I talked about it, but it feels very different from what John's thinking.
Yeah. We're We're on different wavelengths, different paths to the same end, I believe.
Probably. And so Yamato keeps talking about the journal of Kozuki Oden. There was a great man who said the same thing.
I love this part.
Of course, I wouldn't laugh at him. Your brother's incredible. Yeah, great man. That's good to hear. Maybe one day me and Luffy should sit down with him for a drink. And that feels...
Oh,
like Yamato says, like, I bet you would have gotten along. Would have? Well, he's already dead. You're talking about a dead guy. Oh, it's your dad, you idiot.
Yeah, it's like there's no way that Yamato would know that Ace is Goldie Roger's son.
No way, no.
It's just so nice for
He even brings it up, actually, that when he died, that's when he learned.
Yeah. It's just so nice to see, like, they're talking about Ace's dad, and for once in his life, like, Ace is, like excited to hear about him. Like, oh, yeah. Great, man. Like, man, I bet we would have gotten, like, I bet you would have gotten along great. And, like, he's happy to hear about this man. It's like, oh, he doesn't know it's Gold Roger. Like, this, like, it's sad that he doesn't know.
Yeah.
But for me, the reader, I'm like, oh my God, like, this is so sweet.
It's so... It's the kind of thing where, like, One Piece isn't the kind of series that'll show you, like, you know, people in the afterlife, like, in the sky, like...
Yeah, they don't pull a JoJo.
Down.
Where, like,
yeah.
all the characters are in the cloud just pointing at you.
Avdol, like... Yeah, none of that stuff. Except for the one time where Frankie died.
Yeah, never forget. Frankie died post-time skip.
Yeah, but... like, other than that, there's really, like, no space for that in the narrative. But
yeah,
I would like to see someday, like, it has to be way down the line towards the end.
Sorry.
An artist request where it's, like, Ace and Gold Roger, like, having a drink together.
I want to see, at the end of this, they're having a party, a banquet, if you will. And Luffy steps away from the banquet with the drink in hand, and he looks over, and who does he see but the Force Ghosts of Goldie Roger, Ace, and I don't know, Yoda's there too, I guess.
All of them. Fucking... Who was the one... So Hayden Panettiere is there?
Hayden Christensen. Hayden Panettiere is the cheerleader from Heroes.
Oh, fuck! Yeah, well, Hayden Christensen and Hayden Panettiere are both
they're both
there.
They're both there.
And, so is, the guy in, like, the first trilogy who was there because Hayden Christensen was a child and or a sperm cell. One or the other. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, in the original cut, it was Obi-Wan... it was Obi-Wan, Yoda, and then the adult actor at the time who played Darth Vader.
Yes.
And then when What's-His-Face had his reign of terror of editing all the movies over and over again, he digitally inserted Hayden Christensen in as Darth Vader.
It's so fucking funny to me, but, like, both versions of Darth Vader, the old cut and the new cut, and because of my fuck up, Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah.
They're all there.
They're all there. Oh my God, yes. The all-star lineup.
Oh, man.
Live action One Piece is gonna be great. No.
Oh, man.
But, oh, man, this was interesting. So after he's like, oh, you're talking about a dead guy? Yamato says, there, it's done. This is your Vivre card. And, like, Yamato made the Vivre cards? Like,
what the fuck?
Do Vivre cards originate from Wano? This is such like a tiny, useless piece of trivia, but at the same time, it's like, I want to know.
Yeah, like, Wano has originated so much, like, technology.
Yeah.
That it's very interesting to see how...
Yeah.
Like, the implications.
The implications. It honestly could be, because I remember, like, when we learned that Sea Stone, like, originated from Wano, like, oh, shit. That was wild.
It was very wild, yeah.
But, yeah, so Ace continues, like, oh, it's just a piece of paper? And Yamato says, yes, but that piece of paper will bring us together again. Tear off a bit of it and give it to your friends you don't want to lose track of, or people you'll want to meet again. And he's like, oh. And then Yamato, oh my god, Yamato, he looks so happy. Let's meet up again one day, Ace. And then Ace leaves, you bet. And then one day, Ace's card just disappeared. Shortly after that, I learned the truth from the newspaper. I learned that Ace was Roger's son, and that his little brother really had made a name for himself as a pirate. And just this moment real quick, because they're referencing Marineford, and his little brother had really made a name for himself. And this panel of Luffy currently running up the stairs to go to the roof is parallel to Luffy running up to save Ace from Marineford.
No.
Yeah.
Shut up. No.
Oh, yes. It's so good. And Yamato's like, that was Luffy, the man you brought here. This is what Odin wrote about the future. And dear listeners, pucker up your buttholes and you better get ready for the sickest double page spread. The build up on this page and then the page turn to the double page spread, immaculate. I have no words. This double page spread got me so little kid hyped this morning when I read the chapter. Oh my god, we get Luffy standing. We get the silhouettes of Big Mom and Kaido looking big as hell, and then we have
looming over them.
Yeah, and we have 5 other homies, and you go across the top, and Kid is like, "Oh, here's another one. All of you stay back and watch me fight." And Kaido is like, "Straw Hat, Big Mom, all these fetching young heads right for the taking." And we get the big Dodon. All 5 of the Supernova. Dude. Kid, Killer, Zoro, Luffy, and Law. And then Kaido and Big Mom on the other side. Oh my god. It's not all the Supernova, but I'll take the top. I'll take the 5 best Supernova.
Yeah, honestly. And over 20 years in the future, powerful pirates leading the next generation will come swarming into the new world. If I am dead by then, they will be the ones to strike down Kaido. And Luffy, the first thing we see Luffy say is just, just, and Mom's like, everyone's kind of just like, what? And I was joking with Adri, when we woke up, but, Kaido's, sitting here, what he says is, Lin, can you guess what the boy said he would become, right to my face? And she says, oh, he's a saucy one. He talked a big game to me, too. And he destroyed my castle. You owe me an apology for that, Straw Hat. And the way it reads is Kaido just being now, boy, you come up to your mom and tell her what you said to me. Because I swear, boy, you better tell her what you said to me. Because that was some shit. It's so funny. And the craziest thing
Chef
to me,
kiss.
He just walks past them.
Just
walks past
both. So when he says and he's looking at them, you could see him start walking, and even Killer is Killer and Kaido and Big Mom are yo, what the fuck? I like to think that all the other Supernova in that lineup, we're just staring down Big Mom and Kaido, and Killer's the only one that noticed and is yo, what the fuck? Laughing nervously.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And he just keeps walking and
straight past them.
Kaido's pissed off. Hey, boy, say it again. Tell us what you're gonna be. Right here where we can hear you. And he walks past to go to Kinemon's side. Dude.
Oh, when he grabs Kinemon, he's I'm sorry it took me so long. Are you alright? And he notices, he glances over, and you could see all 9 of the scabbards just fucked up. They're not dead, but they're done for. I don't think they're, at least not for this fight.
Yeah, no more fight in them, that's for fucking sure.
But he's alas, when I pass on, I have nothing to show Lord Odin but my shame. And like, god damn, like ugly cries in One Piece. Like, I'll always say it, like there's crying in manga, and then there's One Piece crying.
One Piece crying hits different. One Piece
crying, just I've never seen other authors capture like just and like the raw like ugliness, like the emotion of crying, like as much as Oda.
Like we're all adults here. I'm gonna make a very broad assumption that if you're listening to podcasts in general, you're at least of college age. Like no fucking Zoomer is gonna be out here. It's like, I'm gonna listen to my favorite podcast. I feel like the medium is just like that. So I'm gonna make a base assumption that we're all adults here, and as such, we've all gone through some shit. And like when we go through shit, especially like, you know, not to like make light of like this past year, but when you go through shit, it feels like nothing, not even your words can describe how you felt at that moment. And yet Oda's ugly crying feels just that much closer to how it feels.
Yeah. And it's every time, every character that does it. I always will love whenever Oda draws like cry. Like every emotional scene with that just fucking hits. Like
it's so ooh.
Oh, it's so good.
And
but go ahead.
He's white knuckle gripping onto Luffy. Will you put Wano on your back? Oh, of course I will. It's my friend's country. God, and we get even harder crying.
Yeah.
A level beyond ugly crying. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it looks kind of funny, but like out of context, it looks really funny. But that is the face of absolute despair.
Yeah.
And right behind him, Kaido just says, "Hey boy."
Hey boy.
Boy. And like what one last Sir Luffy before Luffy yells at Law, "Send them all down below." We don't even see Law's eyes. Ooh!
Because Law knows. Law's like, yo, let's pop him. Let's get this show on the road. I got a fish to fry.
Because, like, it's fucking, like, Adri, unfortunately, has been going through some shit today, but she, from downtown across the room, she's feeling it. She's feeling it. We're preaching to her right now.
Oda's a fish. The Law panel says eat. Law's gonna eat. Kaido confirmed.
Confirmed.
Did I say Oda's a fish or Kaido's a fish?
I don't remember. One thing that I'm
not going to edit it, but I think I said Oda's a fish.
He is.
True.
It's true.
Law's going to eat Kaido, not his creator.
One thing I neglected to bring up that Adri just reminded me just now is the panel, 2 panels after Luffy's walking past Kaido and Big Mom, the panel right before Kaido says, "Hey boy," and all that shit, we see a panel of Zoro, and there's like a little chink like sound effect. We don't see it, but Zoro's ready. He has his hand where his hip be at.
He keeps a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip.
Well, Texas ran me near and man.
Texas green. East blue green, big irons on his hip.
Dude.
Oh god. But we get another. We get two 2-page spreads in a row. And this one, every time now, shoutouts to all the paneling bros. Shoutouts to all the people who say, "Oh, this paneling has gotten weak over the years." We get Luffy Luffy jumps and dodges Kaido's club. And we see Kaido's club crack the ceiling even more, and like the rubble is falling on his soldiers. And then you just see Gear 3, Gum.
But dude, zoom in his face. I don't like Luffy not having his hat on for this. It just, the disdain in his eyes. Yes. It feels so ooh.
Oh, it's so good. And we get Luffy's thought process in the downwards cone as his fist is coming down on Kaido. And it's, Raizo is alive and well. We would never sell a comrade to the enemy. I want to defeat Kaido. We crossed through time to arrive here, from the Wano of 20 years ago. Oh, the friendly oddball of Ebisu Town shall make the final grand journey. The fire of rebellion still burns. The sparks have not gone out. Lord Odin, beloved by all, was taken to the flower capital as a criminal, tried and executed. Like, for the entire arc of Wano, and even before Wano, going all the way back to like Zoe and like Punk Hazard, like, I'd say it really started on Zoe though. Like, Luffy has just been a part of this story where, like, he's been a part of the Wano, like, struggle with them, and this, like, to tell Kinemon directly in this chapter, like, yeah, I'm gonna put you all on my back, like, you guys are my friends, like, oh, this is way, like, I think it was at the start of Wano, they kind of framed Luffy as like, oh, he's just some outsider coming in, like, to cause trouble, like, I mean, every arc, it's never like that. You know, people like I know it's a generalization it's a generalization within the community, just to to sort of explain. I've seen it to like newer readers and watchers of the anime, like, oh, like the main thing of the story is like they just hop from island to island and they find a new adventure on each island. But it's like, especially with this one, like, they've been setting this one up for years, and like this is the payoff. Like, Luffy
for at least like a real life decade.
Yeah, Luffy is accepting like all of the scabbards and all of Wano like on his back. Everybody he's met here, like,
oh oof. Man, put the team on his back. As he above Kaido finally realizes he's above him. Comes down, you see fire slam straight into the same cheek.
Yeah,
that Ace got on that statue.
Ace promised that he would come back and punch Kaido.
And here with the fire, chef kiss. Before we go on to the next page, the last double page spread, I do want to bring out that the paneling is not just like a cone going down. It's a rising, because it's read like right to left. Yeah. It's a rising action. And then when you go to the next page, it's a falling action. That's how the cone frames it. So if you're on one page, it feels like you see Luffy go up as you read down, and then it hits the apex. Yeah. And then from the apex, you read from the top down again. It feels like a falling action. Yeah. It's really good paneling. Like,
oh, it's so good.
Oda doesn't do like his stuff is very abstract. Like, you could say that we're reading a little too much into it. Sure, maybe. Whatever. But even if we're reading too much into it, from like just a feelings, like his base instinct.
The fact that we're able to read that much into it, means that something is there.
But man, Luffy hits them. Hits Kaido with the red rock.
Gear 3 Gum Red Rock. The Gear 3 version of Red Hawk, which, holy shit. Like, Kaido face plants the fucking ground, dude. And like he is covered in flames, and like Big Mom's eyes like bugging out. She's like, Kaido, what are you doing? How could you let him hit you like that? And without skipping a beat, I am Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm the man who will surpass you to become king of the pirates, as he's putting on his straw hat.
That silhouette.
Oh,
the silhouette is so good, because it reminds me of like
Shanks.
Dude, of Shanks, and of when Luffy was in Sky Island.
Oh, yes.
Where like, it really is real, when he's like jumping for joy, and then fucking Nolan's descendants are seeing it from up top, from the bottom.
Oh, yes.
Dude, there's so much in just that silhouette. Chapter 1000 was worth this silhouette.
Chapter 1000, yeah. Chapter 1000 was so fucking good. Like, it's like, God like, damn it. It was, what a way to start the fucking new year, dude. This shit was so good.
I feel like before we get into some of the reception of
Yeah.
chapter 1000, I do want to bring up, and a lot of people in our Discord have been talking about it. The rock here, apparently, I still haven't looked at the fan translations. I heard that this time they were notoriously not that good, and it's
If you're
like,
not
yes,
first, you're last.
the ROC spelling is deliberate. It is not a typo. It is in reference to I think it's an Abrahamic religion thing, but it's very prominent in Islam. It's a mythical bird that eats elephants. It's giant. You know, it's
Yeah.
also the inspiration for the rocks in Legend of Zelda, particularly Wind Waker.
Yeah.
So it's deliberate. Now, some people just felt like this was an underwhelming chapter, and I do not know what the fuck they expected.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just like, I don't know. We had talked about it a little bit before recording, like me and Franz on Discord when we were just chilling. But like, I feel like it's just a thing with the community. Like, a lot of people, they hype themselves up, but in like the wrong way, if that makes sense. Because like, don't get me wrong, I get hyped for like every week when a new chapter happens, but my hype is just excitement for more expansion of the story. Like, yes, there's new story that's gonna come out. I don't know what it's gonna be, and I don't think too much into it. I'm just like, yes, like there's gonna be new story. Sometimes if the previous chapter like kind of ends in a certain way, I'm like, okay, we might be able to expect this. But for the most part, it's just like, yes, new story, new One Piece, new expansions of the lore. I'm happy.
New good.
New good. But I think some people that were like disappointed, it reminded me of the same thing that happened during the Odin flashback. If you remember, there was a chapter that ended with all the Akazaya 9 in their uniforms and the hats marching towards Kaido through the desert, and it said like, oh, like they were marching towards the end. Beware, listener, for this is like the hour of legends. And everyone was like, oh, the hour of legends. The next chapter comes out, and it's like a fight with Kaido. Mind you, for anyone listening now, the hour of legends was the hour that Odin spent not dying in the oil. Like it was the hour, the full hour that he was alive, holding the samurai on his back on that plate, frying in the oil. That was the hour of legends. And it didn't happen just yet because Oda had to set up like how they got there, you know? And it's like, it's one thing where it's like, okay, I read it, and they explicitly say in the chapter like, oh, Odin was there for an entire hour. Like they kept repeating it the chapter after. But the immediate chapter following, when they announced the Hour of Legends, people were like, wow, like the Hour of Legends was like underwhelming. And everybody like that I saw on YouTube was like talking bad about that chapter. And I'm like, guys, like yeah, in hindsight, we know now that it's not the chapter, but it's like, but you see the problem is like you had expectations for something that you didn't know what it was. And because that didn't match what the chapter came out with, like somehow the manga's bad because of it. Like I can understand if you have problems with the pacing or whatever. Those are stuff that you can talk to people about, but it's something like that that's like a misunderstanding, or like you overhyped yourself and you didn't get what you wanted from the chapter. That's the kind of stuff that I'm just like, I don't get it. Like I don't know. Maybe I know I'm one of those fans that's just like, what, like every time a new chapter comes out, I'm like, damn, that was good. 10 out of 10. I'd read it again. Like I can't wait. Like
I will read it again.
Yeah. I know I'm one of those fans, so like, whatever, but also like I'm the kind of person that I don't like judging a story as it's happening. Like I like to judge a story or like a movie like once it's completely finished. Yeah. Because then you get the full complete picture, and there might be something that they set up that the payoff is like at the very end, or like the payoff, it requires like another read through or something. But like you wouldn't know that. I don't know. I guess it's just a problem with like the week to week aspect. People are like, I don't know. People are so caught up in like what grade did it get? What score did the chapter get? And it's like, it's not about the score, baby. It's about Red Rock. He punched Kaido, and that's sick.
I feel like part of the problem, and this isn't just in One Piece, this is just in like the
In
quote unquote
everything,
media analysis that people do, that
yeah.
John and I included do.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the problem is like a lot of people in our position, though usually they have a much larger following, have a position of being a hype beast, where their whole thing is like not necessarily like, you know, John and I try to talk about like a lot of the different aspects of One Piece. Sometimes it's not available in every chapter, you know,
Yeah.
but like we try to talk about like paneling, we try to talk about like the reasons behind certain like nomenclature or like this and that. And like, you know, we're just here for the ride, and we're trying to like, you know, savor the ride. We're like, you know, like in third grade when you're like first like learning about like science shit, and they're like, yeah, if you put a saltine cracker in your mouth, it'll stop being salty and start being sweet. Like, you know, that shit. That's what we're trying to do. We've got the cracker in our mouth quite a bit. Whereas a lot of the hype beasts, a lot of like stuff is based on reactions. And a first reaction is definitely way too hasty for any piece of media. Like, unless you're like talking about like Doraemon episodes or something, where like
Yeah.
I doubt it's that deep. You know, a first initial reaction, like, yes, it's cool for like the shared hype and this and that, but like whatever analysis you're gonna give based on that is going to be flawed. You know,
because there's going to be stuff that you miss, especially like just I mean, this is getting meta, but like the performative nature of it when you're doing it for a YouTube video or like for a community.
It matters.
I at some point we had talked about maybe doing like the episode as a live reaction to chapter 1000.
But it just
we didn't really go on it, and I know at least for me it's like I feel like I would not have been able to, like, I read this chapter like 3 times today.
Same.
Like I read it when it came out. I was like, damn, that's sick. I read it again immediately after, and then I think I read it like 2 more times. So like four times, I guess. And that's just like, you know, you get to relive the hype moments, but also like you get to really look at shit that you might have missed. Like I didn't catch Queen's Brachiosaurus extendo neck until like
not on the first read. No. And then the other thing is that like, so Inside Baseball, we record basically like more than 12 hours after the release. Usually I'll stay up and read the raws at very least, and then like get 5 hours of sleep, wake up, read the English, and then go to work, think about it all the time at work.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Then like maybe discuss some stuff with Adri when I get home. And then before John and I record, or like if Adri's there as well, all of us will talk about it for like an hour before we record. So we're just sharing information and sharing ideas to make sure that like what we're getting out there isn't just like word vomit. Sometimes it's good. Word vomit's not a bad thing, and it's a good thing for the creative process. But like, we're trying to not like fall into the trap of the hype beast, like I've been saying, because like I feel like Game of Thrones is a great example. The hype beasts were fed by the audience, and the audience in turn were fed by the hype beast. It was just a vicious cycle until it just. Yeah. I didn't watch the series at all. It apparently ended in grave disappointment.
Oh, very much so. Like, the show was really good. The writing in the earlier seasons, like, top fucking notch. The character development, like, things that happen within the characters, cool. I mean, I guess this is also a thing with a lot of the One Piece and even, like, the My Hero community. I've seen it, maybe not as much, but, like, with One Piece, it comes up all the time. Like, the expectation, or like, in order for One Piece to be like, to have serious stakes, like somebody has to die. I've seen that so many fucking times. Shit, I was watching, I mean, you know, I was watching a couple of videos on YouTube, and it was like, Rogers Base was one of them, and there was a couple other ones. And, like, I'm not trying to like start anything with them. I watch their videos like every single week, but like it's just this is, when they were like mad that, or not mad, but they were like, oh, like of course Kinemon didn't die, in sort of like a mocking way, like, oh, of course none of the scabbards are dead, and it's like I hate the idea that, especially in a series of One Piece that you've read for how many years, like,
yeah,
the expectation that somebody has to die for the story to mean something is totally ridiculous to me. I mean, for one thing, in as kind of an anecdote or like allegory to explain this, there's a thing in Street Fighter V. There's a video, a fighting game commentator, Sajam, he made a video talking about like people who complain about fighting games and stuff, and he says that like a lot of the complaints that he hears are people saying, oh, this move is dumb, it didn't do what I wanted to do. And then the response to that is, well, the move isn't made for that. Like, if you use the move what it's meant to be used for, then you'll have, like, you're trying to fit a move to do something that it was not built to do. So when it fails to do that, you're pissed at the move and at the game. Like you're doing it wrong, but then you're mad at the game for not giving you the outcome that you want. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's very similar to One Piece. It's like, I've seen so many people in comment sections of videos that like, just, it's just confusing to me, because it's like, when was there an expectation that like deaths have to happen in a story for it to mean something? Definitely not in One Piece, because Dressrosa
who's died in One Piece?
Yeah, Dressrosa, like, obviously Koroson died in the flashback, but I'm talking about the current arc of Dressrosa, like the current timeline, like them landing on the island, fighting at Greenbit, Coliseum fight, Birdcage, all that stuff. Like, nobody died in that.
Like,
from what I can remember,
we can maybe assume like some randos, like, off screen.
I think the bull Lucy did. God bless her soul, Lucy.
Maybe,
but even then, not really. But like,
Pell got nuked and he didn't die.
Yeah. Pell got nuked and he didn't die. But like, Dressrosa, the ending to Dressrosa is so fucking emotional. Like, if you read Dressrosa and your takeaway is like, wow, that was dumb and long and a waste of time, like, I don't know, like, go read Vinland Saga, like, go read Seinen, like, go read Inuyashiki, where a dude breaks into a guy's house and just finger guns all of his family members, and then is like, have you read the new One Piece, holding the daughter at gunpoint? Like, if you want death, read that stuff.
And like this isn't a like attack on anyone like this either. It's just like, One Piece isn't what you're clearly looking for, and that's fine. Like, please, for your own entertainment, your own enjoyment, go look for something that you will definitely enjoy. They're like, I've heard like high praise of Vinland Saga to the point where like it's not for me. I know that. Yeah. Like those kinds of series are not necessarily for me, which is why I haven't gotten into Game of Thrones and this and that. Yeah. But I've heard so much good about Vinland Saga that I've considered picking it up.
Yeah. No, it's like those, like, again, like this is not to be like, oh, your favorite creators, fuck them. Like, no, like I half the creators that you guys watch, like, I'll watch those creators as well, like on YouTube. It's just like, it's just something that has happened with sort of media, like,
in general.
The media in general, like media reviewing in general, I guess, has been sort of plagued by this thing. And it's like, that's the best comparison I can think of, is that video. Like, you're using the move wrong, but then you get mad when the outcome is not what you wanted. Like, the outcome is the expected outcome, but it's not what you wanted, therefore you're mad. But like, in reality, you shouldn't be mad, because that move was never going to do what you wanted it to do anyways. No. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's weird.
Do you have anything else to like tack on? Because I've got a bit of philosophizing about this. My brain, the hamster in my brain's turning a bit.
I'll just get the Luffy thing out of the way, because I feel like that's pretty quick what Luffy and Gold Roger said?
Oh, yeah.
So it's brought up in the series a lot, and it's like Luffy says his dream, and we cut into it. Like I said earlier, like it cuts into right after him saying it, and Ace and Sabo are like, "You're stupid. Like, what are you talking about?" The same thing happened in Odin's flashback with Roger. He said it. It cuts to them. They're like, "What are you talking about?" And then even Rayleigh was like, "Oh, I met Shanks." You know, when he talks to Luffy and Sabo, he's like, "I met Shanks, and he was missing an arm, and a straw hat was gone." And he said that you were saying the exact same thing that our captain was saying. And it's like, what the fuck did he mean? Like, what did he say? Or like, what was his dream, I guess? And like, I don't think that it's just to be king of the pirates. And my only reasoning for it is because, like, when Roger was going on this journey to find the end of this thing, like, the king of the pirates, like, wasn't a thing yet, if that makes sense. Like, right. He became the king of the pirates when he found the One Piece. And then, like, he became the king of the pirates when he found the One Piece, but he realized that he was too early for he was too early. Like, he wasn't, it wasn't his time yet. And that's why they're all like, oh, maybe Luffy's the one. Maybe Luffy's the one who will make it in time. And, like, I guess this is sort of, like, me reading into the series or, like, adding something, but, like, I feel like the King of the Pirates title came from Gold Roger starting the pirate era on purpose, because he was like, I don't have enough time on this earth, and I'm definitely not the one who's meant to be, but I'm gonna start a hunt for this thing, because, like, if whoever he tells the secret to, they're gonna hunt him down. So he's like, I'm gonna start this new pirate era, and someday in the future, 20 years from now or whatever, there's gonna be some pirates that are gonna find it, and they're gonna make it to the end, and they'll be the ones who make it in time. And my theory is that was when the King of the Pirates title, like, became a thing. And so if Luffy said the same thing as Roger, I don't think Roger would call himself King of the Pirates. I don't think Roger wanted to be King of the Pirates, but I don't know what he wanted. And I also don't know what Luffy would want to match that.
Right.
I don't know. It feels like there's a mystery there of, like, they both have something in common, but we're not being told it yet.
I can definitely understand that.
Yeah. The only other thing I can say to, like, why I have this theory is the thing with Kaido's fruit. Like, yeah, he can turn into a dragon, but, like, there had to have been a reason why Oda didn't reveal. Like, if he was just a dragon, Oda would have just said he's a dragon, but there had to be some kind of reason he was withholding it from us.
Right. There's always, like, a little, like, gotcha kind of thing. Not a gotcha, but there's reasonings behind withholding information.
Yeah.
So I'm on the other side where I think it's just... So, like, in this chapter specifically, we've had, like, Ace not say it, and then, like, Yamato not say it, and, like, people not saying it. And my thinking is that, like, for Luffy at the end to say himself, I do think that the fill in the blank is to be King of the Pirates.
Yeah, it's like the punchline at the end. Like,
right. And, like, part of my reasoning, like, You're right in that, like, a lot of this, there's been examples of in the series past where people have done this as well without there really being a punchline, is that, like, the only thing I have to say for that is that, yeah, like, Oda does withhold information from us very purposefully, but sometimes in Japanese, just as a function of the language, how it's evolved culturally, is that the obvious is left out of what is said and is instead left implied. Yeah, it's something that
you've talked about this before,
right?
Yeah.
And, like, the research there's like some research into it. Like, it's kind of like not like like you can see where, like, people are getting at, but, like, if you look deeper into, like, the people behind this research, I think his name was David Kaplan or something like that. It's called comparative rhetoric. Shit. It was the times, the before times. But I do have to agree that, like, when as I do, like, functioning in Japanese society, like, on a day-to-day, sometimes you are expected to read between the lines. Some people, like, if you're a foreigner visibly and, like, you're speaking Japanese, some people will, like, spell it out for you. but you'll also like notice when people are like talking to themselves, between themselves, or if someone realizes that you have like a decent grasp of Japanese, you like there's a reason why the phrase like reading the room is so prominent in Japanese. Like kuki o yomu, reading the air or like reading the atmosphere, is a very prominent phrase, to the point that like if you're not able to read the room in Japanese culture, that in and of itself is enough to like outcast somebody from society. So yeah, not that that's a good thing, but like that's what leads me to believe that this is not a case of withholding information, just like Oda being like, you know what it is, you know, I know, you know.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. It's not really like, you know, anything so special, and like I really didn't have to explain all that shit either, but it just feels like a you know, wink wink, nudge nudge.
Yeah, I feel that. Do we have anything else? Did you want to philosophize?
So my philosophizing back on the topic of the whole like media and everything is that like I feel like this is like very unrelated to One Piece, really, and I will preface this with saying that I'm not particularly smart. Like, I majored in Japanese history and culture. Like, I'm no big brain. Like, my brain's kind of smooth in most things that don't have to do with like random ancient deities and the synchronization of like I don't even know how to pronounce that word. See? But what I will say is that like a lot of our media consumption as a society has revolved around death for the last, you know, several decades, starting with the news. That like what gets eyes on the news, what gets clicks through to like news websites is death, horror, and the things of that like. And that's also what eventually ends up happening towards like these media analysis hype beasts, where the moments where they'll get the most clicks, and I have no doubt it'll happen to us too, with specifically with this episode, like chapter 1000 what, like, you know, we'll probably get like a measurable upclick in like listeners uptick. But I do believe that like most like media reviewers or just reactors, their highest like click-through rate happens in moments of like big like say what gotcha kind of moments where like, you know, people die or like cataclysmic events happen. You know, there's never a like clickbait like, no way Luffy said this nice thing to someone. You know, it's always something horrendous and horrific.
This guy's chicken butt is also his face.
Right.
Markiplier YouTube thumbnail like,
what? So like that's never how our media creation or consumption works. So I feel like this is where it feels like I have my head up my own ass. Like, but I feel like we as a society have become poisoned by this kind of consumption, and you know, it's not healthy. Especially
we are the sickness. I feel you.
We are the sickness. And like without like getting too into it, during these times, is it really necessary? Like, I just want good shit to happen, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like it's yeah, to add on to that, just because I feel like it's sort of a problem of escalation. And like it's just reached the point where it's like it can't be stopped, really. I mean, you know, I talked about Rogers Bay, said he was talking on Twitter that like he's like, oh, like I'm gonna stop doing my hero chapters, because he was getting like, he didn't really like some of the decisions in like the new chapter, I guess, like where it's going,
the new arc in general.
Yeah. He's afraid that like when this arc ends, for all the high stakes that it's had, that it's gonna it's just gonna go back to like normal. Like they're gonna go back to the school as if nothing happened. Which like I guess it could, but it's one of those things where, like I said before, like I'm the kind of person who's like, well, I'm gonna wait and find out. If it does happen, then I'll be able to retroactively go back.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a sort of thing as like the people that watch them are like, they hear that and they're just like, no, this chapter was good. Get out of here. Like, fuck you. And he's like, well, like I liked it. I just didn't think it was that great. And I watched a bit of his live stream and he was getting flamed pretty hard in that live chat. And it's like, dude, like what's going on? Like
it's a little bit on both sides.
It's on both sides because it's like for him, it's like for him, you know, he makes reaction videos and reviews every week. So there's like this weird expectation that everything has to be like great and epic. It has to be perfect.
Yeah.
And if there's a week that he doesn't like it, like he's being true to himself. That's legitimately what he believes. But the audience now is taking it like, well, what the hell? Like you said, it was godlike last week and the week before that. Like I liked it. Why does this week suck? You suck. Like,
right.
It's like, no, like stop. Like it's on both ends. I don't know.
Like people can hold their different differing opinions.
Yeah.
I'm not too privy on the whole situation, but it's the kind of thing where like if Roger feels like he doesn't like Boku no Hero anymore, which I'm not saying that that's what he's saying. Like this definitely sounds like a one-off, but if he doesn't like it, I wish that he would feel like, you know, if it's something that he could read by himself for himself, I wish that for him. Or if he wishes to stop like consuming Boku no Hero, like then I also wish that for him too. Like it goes back to the argument that we were saying before. Like if this isn't your cup of tea, then I implore you. There's a lot of other tea. Like there really is. There's some of these shits that I've never heard about, like fucking Urbla or some shit. Like.
What did you just call me?
Exactly. So there's something out there for you. This doesn't have to be for you. And towards like Roger's defense, you don't have to agree with us. You could say fuck you. People have. We love reading 1-star reviews.
Oh my god, yeah, we got a review that like, man, look, my problem with the review is that he edited the review. And in the edit, he said he would give us like 3 stars because it was 4 before, but he was mad at us.
Yeah.
But then he edited his score again after that, and it went down to 1 star. But he didn't edit the message to tell us that he went down to 1 star. So that's why I'm like not pissed, I guess. But that's why I feel petty towards it because it's like, really, bro, you warned me last time, but this time, like, come on, man.
Let's have a discussion.
Yeah. At least tell me you're gonna put it to 1, because now I'm trying to save him. He looks wrong. If an innocent bystander comes to our iTunes and reads the review and gets all the way to the end and says, and this is why I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars, and then they look at the review and it's 1 stars, now he's the liar. And I don't want that. I don't want him to be the liar. I'm the good guy in this situation. I didn't gaslight you guys.
I'm right. He's wrong. Before we get any deeper, we're running pretty over. Yeah. Give us a review on iTunes.
Yeah.
If it's 1 star, iTunes. I mean, so fucking be it. I'd really rather you give us a 5-star because then Daddy iTunes, or though it's Apple now, will push us to further heights.
Yes. And this, I mean, it's every single week we discuss stuff like this on our Discord, but this is like the perfect transition to our end card. If you do, like, please come to our Discord if you want to discuss the chapters or the episode. Like, if you hear our episode and you disagree with us, like, come into our Discord, and as long as you're, like, civil about it, we get some of the best discussions. Like, there have been so many discussions of, like, hey, I listened to the episode, I didn't really agree with this, I think it's this, and, dude, we've gone off on, like, gone off on like hour-long discussions with people just typing back and forth.
Be clear, we're not like a marketplace of ideas kind of place. This isn't that kind of thing where like someone has to win, someone has to lose. Like,
it's not a.
It's just us expressing ourselves, us and everyone else expressing ourselves in what we believe and why we believe it, and you know, some people will agree, some people will disagree, but at the end of the day, we'll be like, wow, that's interesting. Like, everyone has reasons for everything. So it's just that kind of discussion.
If you come up to me in the Discord peddling crack theories as legitimate, like, theories, like, then hold on, we're not gonna have a problem, but I'm gonna have to slow the roll.
No God D hockey over here. Yeah.
That's
for the meme channel.
Yeah, that's for the meme channel. I'll direct you over to the meme channel. But our Discord, Paramecia Flower Capital. Please join our Discord, especially in this new year. I mean, we've been talking about it. We want to try to push this even further this year. We want to try to get more guests on and stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna
stay tuned. We're gonna be working on that.
Yeah, things are gonna be changing this year, definitely for the better. Like, we don't want to make like lofty promises because these things might take some time, but
but it's this year. Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Yeah.
Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media at Paramecia Cast on Twitter, Paramecia Fancast everywhere else, Facebook, YouTube, the likes. Episodes go up every single Monday following the official release on Sunday. As soon as they're uploaded to our Libsyn website, they are instantly sent across the internet to every podcatcher in existence. Anything that can capture an RSS feed can get our podcast. Spytunes, iTunes, Spotify, Google, whatever their new thing is. Spytunes.
Yeah. MyTunes.
MyTunes. Applefy. That's got to be one, right?
That's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
The ones that don't exist yet, those will have them too. Eventually, when they exist.
Yeah. And that's gonna do it for. Do you have a crack theory?
No. No. My brain was just like I just got a giant image of egg.